A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, the United States has announced it will immediately resume military aid and intelligence sharing with Kyiv. This decision comes after Ukraine expressed its readiness to accept a 30-day ceasefire proposal. The announcement was made following a joint statement issued after a meeting between U.S. and Ukrainian officials in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. The ceasefire proposal aims to halt hostilities for an initial period of 30 days, with the possibility of extension through mutual agreement between the parties involved. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky took to Telegram to emphasize that this ceasefire would encompass a complete cessation of all military actions, not only limited to missile strikes and drone attacks, but extending along the entire front line, including the Black Sea region. U.S. President Donald Trump expressed optimism regarding Russia's potential agreement to the ceasefire plan, indicating that a meeting with Russian officials is expected to take place either later on Tuesday or on Wednesday. Following the progress made during the talks, the U.S. government declared it would lift the pause on intelligence sharing and security assistance to Ukraine, which had been suspended last week. This suspension significantly hindered Ukraine's ability to monitor Russian troop movements, defend against missile strikes, and conduct offensive operations. The suspension initially stemmed from tensions between Trump and Zelensky, who had visited Washington to negotiate a deal concerning rare earth minerals. This deal would allow the United States access to valuable resources in Ukraine, and the latest joint statement suggests that negotiations on this matter are back on track. Both nations aim to finalize a comprehensive agreement to develop Ukraine's critical mineral resources, which is seen as vital for enhancing the Ukrainian economy and ensuring long-term security and prosperity. However, reporting from Washington, D.C., indicates that the joint statement lacks explicit security guarantees that Zelensky had been advocating for during his previous meeting with Trump. Political analysts suggest that while the topic of security guarantees remains open for future discussions, Trump has historically been resistant to the idea of providing explicit security assurances to Ukraine. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has stated that the responsibility now lies with Russia to respond to the ceasefire offer. He articulated that Ukraine is prepared to cease hostilities and initiate dialogue, placing the onus on Russia to accept or reject the proposal. Rubio remarked, "If they say no, then we'll unfortunately know what the impediment is to peace here." U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz echoed this sentiment, noting that the Ukrainian delegation made it clear they share Trump's vision for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Waltz mentioned that negotiators delved into substantive discussions about how to bring an end to the war permanently, including considerations for long-term security guarantees. Zelensky reiterated Ukraine's willingness to pursue peace, urging the United States to persuade Russia to engage constructively. He stated, "Ukraine is ready for peace. Russia must show its readiness to end the war or continue the war. It is time for the full truth." The backdrop of these diplomatic efforts is the ongoing violence that has plagued Ukraine since Russia's full-scale invasion 3 years ago, which has resulted in Russia controlling approximately 1/5 of Ukrainian territory, including the annexed region of Crimea. Russian President Vladimir Putin has indicated a willingness to discuss a peace agreement, but has firmly ruled out any territorial concessions, insisting that Ukraine must withdraw from 4 regions that are claimed and partially controlled by Russia. Interestingly, the talks in Saudi Arabia commenced just hours after Ukraine conducted its largest drone attack on Moscow and its surrounding areas, claiming to have targeted an oil refinery near the Russian capital and a facility in the Oryol region. This drone assault resulted in the downing of 337 drones over Russian territory and led to casualties, including 3 employees of a meat warehouse, along with temporary disruptions at 4 of Moscow's airports, according to Russian officials. As the situation continues to evolve, both Ukraine and the U.S. remain hopeful that these diplomatic efforts will pave the way for a lasting resolution to the conflict. The coming days will be crucial in determining whether Russia will respond positively to the ceasefire proposal and whether peace can be achieved after years of hostilities. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.